It's time for the Salt and Sass Podcast, when we share our love for the wonderful world of board games with you, whether you're a gaming veteran or just starting your tabletop journey. Welcome to episode 84. I'm Suzanne.
And I'm Mandi.
Welcome back to the podcast, everybody. Mandi, it is the penultimate episode of the year for us, the second to the last. As we wind down, here we are in December. What a year it's been. Wow.
I love that word, by the way. I feel like no one ever uses that word.
Penultimate? Well,
yes, it's so good. Sorry, I had to highlight that.
I'm excited about today's episode. We've got some games we've been playing. I got a cool campaign I wanted to mention, which is interesting because sometimes you don't get as many interesting campaigns at the end of the year, so I'm excited about that. And we're serving up a very fun game pie at the end of the episode, which is all about gifts for gamers, which some of y'all listening might be interested in that kind of thing for reasons.
I definitely am. There's one on the list. If it really interests you. If it really interests you. A lot of S's in there. You'll have to contact me and let me know, and I can tell you how to make it happen. No, the first thing. Anyway, we'll get there.
Okay, interesting. Okay, well, I don't know what this is. But, of course, we have to kick off every episode with a little bit of video game time for Mandi.
Of course.
And for me.
Just for me. I was going to say just for me. Come on.
So, Mandi, what have you been up to, my friend?
Oh, it's been busy. So for those who don't know, I had dental surgery. I won't get into the details, but I couldn't talk for a little while, which was actually kind of nice. But then you realize how many people actually want to talk to you, and you're like, I can't talk. So gave me some time to catch up on some video games.
Yeah, because it wasn't just like you couldn't talk. Like you were kind of laid up for a week, right?
Yeah, like I actually was on medication. Like I had to not do too many strenuous things. Exercise was a no-no. So yeah, so I had time to play some video games. So first one I'm going to talk about is The Outer Worlds, not to be confused with The Outer Wilds. Different game. Just have to throw it out there. Obsidian, but it is The Outer Worlds 2 specifically. I finished it, and I think I put like 76 hours in this game. And for me to do that, you know it's good because 25 hours is like my max usually for a game. I was into it. So if you played the original one, it's an RPG. So if you played the original one, it still has a lot of that humor. I think even like on a better level, like it actually is polished up a little bit. I really enjoyed it. You can switch the levels. Like I had a boss I couldn't finish. I was like, I am playing on just regular, and it was challenging. And I was like, hey, I'm just going to drop it back for this boss, and then I can put it back up. And no shame in the game, okay? So The Outer Worlds 2, and this is on Game Pass, which is really nice. So you're able, if you have it, you'll be able to check it out there, and that'll probably be there for a while because I think they have some deal with Obsidian games that kind of stay on there for a long time. Yeah, so The Outer Worlds 2, it's one of my favorite games. The original one, really, really enjoyed the second one, so it's something you can give a try. Another game that I've been playing is Lost. I think it's called Lost Records Bloom and Rage, and it's more of one of those adventure click, like you make a decision, and that decision could affect future things that are happening in the story. And it's about this group of friends where something strange happened. Like literally that's as far as I've gotten. So they these kind of, I don't want to say they're very different walks of life. These kids come together. There's an incident that happens, and now they're meeting later, and something supernatural, it seems, may have happened because this random package shows up at one of their houses. Like, I want to open it together and we can figure it out. And I think it's a Canadian team behind it because one of the characters is like, yeah, I moved to Canada and I'm staying there. There are a lot of Canadianisms in there that I'm catching, so I'm 100% sure it's a Canadian team. I'm pretty sure Don't Nod is either Canadian or French. They definitely have a Canadian connection. Anyway, so if you're into that kind of narrative, adventure, kind of just making decisions, click this is going to happen. It's not a combat game. This is something that you might enjoy. So I believe it's called Lost Records Bloom and Rage. And the other game that I just started, yes, I've started a few here, Siberia Remastered. So have you played the Siberia games, Suzanne?
No, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, okay. So it's another one of these kind of puzzle, like mystery puzzle. It's one of those other ones where it's like, click here, solve the puzzle, click here, chat with someone, have an interaction, that sort of thing.
Sure.
And this one is definitely, it's an older game. I'm pretty sure this is like a late, possibly 2000s game. I could be wrong. But they've now since remastered the first one. So I think there are at least 2 or 3 of these. And they've remastered the new one. And it looks really good. The soundtrack is really good, but I feel like the music's a little off in the game. Like it's like really loud, even if you lower it. So I'm having a struggle trying to hear the
Oh,
dialogue
interesting.
sometimes. I'm a turn the music off kind of gal completely, but I do
Mhm.
stream this one. So I like to have it in the background. So like the music, I just don't know if I like it in the game specifically, but the story's easy to follow. And for someone like me, if you just want something more chill for your puzzles or trying to figure it out, it's very clear, like, let me run over here and check what's here for those who are RPGers like me that like to do side quests. This game doesn't allow that. Okay,
Oh,
so I can't go
really?
there. No, it really, like, you can tell it's one of those older games because it really focuses, like,
Oh,
you
interesting.
can't go down this path. It may look like you can. It will not let you. You have to do this thing. So it kind of pushes you in that direction, which is good for ADHD people like me or the RPGer that likes to do side quests. It keeps you focused. So Siberia Remastered, I think that's only been out for like a month, but I'm enjoying it. It's definitely a more chill vibe, but you can change the difficulty level. I'm gonna keep it on story mode, basic mode for right now. And last thing I want to talk about, I haven't played it yet, but it's on my wish list on Steam and I really, really want to try it. And I think I might try and stream it probably the week that this comes out. It's called Death Howl. Have you heard of this one,
I have
Suzanne?
again, you are way advanced compared to me here, Mandy.
No, but this you might actually, I think this might be up your alley. So it is on Steam. Again, all these games I've been trying on Xbox Game Pass because they've been killing it with the indie games. And I like indie games and they generally tend to get a lot of them. But Death Howl definitely has a kind of almost like a slight pixel vibe, but it is a deck builder. So it's a
Oh,
deck
okay.
builder, but then from what I've seen, because I haven't
Deck.
played it yet, it almost looks, yeah, it's like a deck builder, but then there's like a grid that you're playing on. I know, Suzanne's like, let me just write that down. And from what I've been told, it's not just any regular deck builder. You have a bit of like your battle, there's some story, but it's challenging. So
Oh,
it is
great.
one, I know,
Well,
right? I'm looking at, as I'm talking to you about it now, I'm looking at the little video. So it's showing like a story, but then it looks like when you hit some kind of combat or something you have to resolve, that's when you're going to have to use your cards and things like that. And they literally call it a Souls-like deck builder.
oh, well, now I'm losing interest. That's not the kind of pain I need in my life, Mandy.
But then it just keeps your interest. So anyway, I think you should still check it out because, sometimes you just want, like, I like playing games that are easy breezy, light, but sometimes you just want something like challenging. So it's still in the board game-esque world. So I'm like board game adjacent. And I don't mind a Souls-like game. I'm not necessarily good at them, but I do enjoy trying them out from time to time. I actually think you might like this one. So Death Howl, next time we talk, I'll have a bit more insight on how that plays.
All right. Okay. Well, I don't have a ton that I've been playing video game wise, but I have. So I picked up Clover Pit from
Ooh,
your
yes.
recommendation last time. I definitely enjoyed it. Definitely got the vibe that you were talking about
How far did you
from
get?
Inscription. I don't know how far I am. I
Did you
mean,
get to
not
like
far
at
enough.
least, did you hit a million or any of the millions?
No,
Oh,
no, Mandy, no. Shush. Shh,
sorry. Okay.
shh. But I've played a number of rounds of it, and I get it, and I do like it. But that then thrust slots and daggers into my feed.
Uh-huh.
So I picked up slots and daggers as well, which is another slot machine roguelike. But this one is more instead of just trying to hit a money target, this one
Yeah.
is you actually get enemies and the machine wheels, and then you get swords and shields and
All the
daggers,
things.
and you can upgrade yourself and do damage
Yeah.
to enemies. And quite frankly, I'm really enjoying it. Like, the interesting thing with slots and daggers, with Clover Pit, you just pull the lever. Pull the
Right.
lever, Kronk. And
And hope
stuff
for the
happens. With
best.
slots and daggers, some of the things you pick get skill checks. So
Yeah.
you actually have to click or manually trigger every wheel individually. And some of them, like when you land on a certain type of sword, there are different kind of time challenges. So
All
like,
right.
this target
So,
like fades and grows and fades and grows, and you got to click right when it hits that max to do a critical hit kind of thing.
uh-huh.
Anyway, Sluts and Daggers, I've been enjoying it. Clover Pit, I've also been enjoying it. I'm awash in now slot machine roguelikes. Go figure. Roguelike. I can't remember the
Rogue
difference right now.
like.
Light.
Roguelike. Like.
Like. Because likes
Like. For
aren't
slots and
likes
daggers?
permadeath.
For
Likes
slots
are
and
permadeath.
I think so. Well, they describe it as rogue like.
Okay, well, we'll go with what they say then.
I know.
Cool.
I
There we
always
go.
have to do a lookup because it always confuses me.
Seriously. The only other thing I'll mention, longtime listeners will know, I have a history of playing Magic the Gathering. That's
Okay.
one of the games that really got me into the hobby back in the 90s. And I was really into it in probably an unhealthy way for years. And I managed to grow up and pull back. And I mostly manage how I buy into it.
Yeah.
Like, for example, with Lord of the Rings, I built what's called a cube, where you just have single cards and you put them all and you make little like packs basically, and then you draft from them. It's a nice consolidated way to experience a set or build a thematic thing, whatever, and play with other people
Sure.
who then don't have to own their own cards. You can play, you have it, so you can just play it with friends, like a board game, basically, like a drafting board game almost, card game.
Right.
Well, here comes the Avatar: The Last Airbender set in Magic. Oh boy. I mean, I loved that show when it was on, and
I
it's
remember.
just had such a long-standing fan base, and I also liked the follow-up series Korra, which is more divisive, but
Yep.
I also enjoyed it. Here we have Avatar, the Airbender Magic. I did buy into it, and I was going to do what I did with Lord of the Rings and just build a cube, right? No problem. Controlled, measured, grown up. Yeah. So the thing is, they did a really good job on this set. It's so thematic. There are so many great cards. And as I'm going through the cards, I'm like, I remember these things. It evokes the story and the characters and the
Right.
moments incredibly well. So I before we were recording, I was working on a couple of Commander EDH style decks as well. I'm gonna stop.
Are you though?
I'm gonna stop, but I'm having a lot of fun with it, and I am building. I have a cube. I need to work on it a little bit, but yeah. So I'm also doing that. Anyway, we're gonna move on. All right, enough of that. We got board games. I do have a crowdfunding campaign. Mandi, did you have one this week or nah?
No,
It's a little light.
Yeah, I haven't really been on, but yours I'm looking forward to hearing more about. So
Let's talk that, and we'll go into some games. Alrighty. I just wanted to mention that Queen of Spies is on GameFound. Queen of Spies is a solo game from Salt and Pepper Games. I am a huge fan of Salt and Pepper as a publisher. I reviewed Onoda just recently from them. That was another solo game. There are a few things to recommend this one. First of all, it's designed by Liz Davidson and David Thompson. Liz Davidson, you might know because you're listening to a podcast. Liz hosts the wonderful Beyond Solitaire podcast. She is a fantastic person. She is now the solo specialist for leader games as well.
Yeah.
She had a career of being a teacher, and she decided to dig into her passion, and now she's the solo lead for leader games, and she's just a wonderful person and is a game designer too, and has been working on a number of designs. David Thompson, meanwhile, you may be a little more familiar with her work. So first of all, he's one of the designers behind Resist and Witchcraft, which, Mandi, I know you've played.
Yeah, Witchcraft is great.
So solo games there, and great solo games. Love them both. And then also the designer behind games like War Chest and Undaunted.
War Chest is so good.
War Chest is so good. And I like Undaunted too, but yeah, I love
Oh yeah,
love
Undaunted
War
is great too,
Chest.
but
Yeah.
War Chest is
So
fire.
a lot of great design cred there. So Liz and David teamed up to make Queen of Spies. This is a solo-only game in which you're taking on the role of a journalist turned resistance leader running a network of spies in like 1940s France. What an amazing setting. What an amazing theme. I love it. They've been sharing some of their progress on the design behind the scenes over the last couple of years. It's been really fun to see that grow and evolve, and also just to feel really connected with the amount of passion and care that they crafted this game with. And I think it's perfect for Salt and Pepper Games, who does a good production and who also really tries to make really positive experiences like this. So between the designers, the publisher, solo game. Now, if you're not a solo player, maybe it's not for you, but solo game,
I'm
amazing
looking at it
theme and
right
setting.
now, and I think I'm probably going to back it.
It's got a really fun art style too, like Queen of Spies on GameFound right now. You should maybe check it out if you are into that kind of thing.
The art's great. I'm like, oh my god. Art's
Yeah,
so good.
it's real good. Oh, and I should mention it retails for €35, but in the campaign you can get a copy for just €23.
Yes.
So, food for thought. All righty. There we go with a game that you can be playing next year because it's a crowdfunding. Let's talk about some games you can be playing this year. What's left of it?
Well, before we jump in, I have to say a few things about some games that are on the plates that we'll talk about later. One being Sweetlands. I know you have this game,
Yeah.
Suzanne. I
a
finally got
big
it to the
game.
table. It is a
Nice.
juicy, crunchy, big game.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm hoping I've got one plan. I think by the time this airs, I will have another plan under my belt and maybe one more. And this is a game that we both purchased. Like, we don't have to talk about it or anyway, but we want to talk about it at some point. So I just want to throw that out there. That is one we'll cover at some point because I have some thoughts. So we'll see how
Ooh.
that goes. And another big game that I've had sitting on my table because I'm trying to solo stream it, but it's big, is Hoplomachus Victorum.
Oh,
So
yeah. Chip Theory.
it's sitting here. I just have to learn it. I think I'm like a third of the way through learning it because I was on my butt for a while. So hopefully I'll be able to get that to a stream soon. Can't promise it'll be a winning time, but it'll be there. So keep an
No
eye on the
comment.
channel for that.
I'm
Okay.
excited to see that. Amazing.
Oh, yeah, it'll be something. All right, the first game I'm going to talk about, super snappy, and y'all know I love a good trick-taking game, is Tricky Time Crisis. Have you heard of this game, Suzanne?
Nope, I have not. I mean, trick taking has had this moment recently over
Sure.
the last year or two. And so, which is thrilling because you and I both love trick taking games.
Absolutely.
It also just grows to the point where there's a lot of them and I can't keep up.
Yeah,
Which is
absolutely.
a
And
good
then this
problem
one,
to have.
yeah, exactly. And this one, there are a few in like the series of the Tricky Time, I guess, series. So this is specific. Yeah, there are like 4 or 5. So I have a
Okay.
few more, so I may talk about them as time progresses. But this is Tricky Time Crisis, designed by John Barron, and art is by Sai Beppu, who I know I've heard you mention before, Suzanne, on the
Love Sai
podcast.
Beppu's art. Amazing. Yeah.
And then this is published by Baron John Games. It's for 2 to 5 players, plays in about 45 minutes, give or take, could be less depending on how many you're playing with, and it retails for about 40 Canadian dollars. So that's not an inexpensive trick taker. That's so
True. Yeah.
trick taking games usually don't fall in that price point, but that's what we're looking at. So this particular game is a trick taking card game with a superhero and time travel theme, which is different than, I'd say that's a different theme.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, like it's different. And then in the game, players have to play different suits to avoid what you call paradoxes. So usually in trick-taking games, you want to play the same suit, like follow whatever. So if someone plays hearts, you want to play hearts and that sort of thing. In this game, you don't want to do that. So in this game, there are different colored cards. So if someone plays yellow, you don't want to play yellow, or you'll create a paradox, and that'll kind of end the hand immediately. That may or may not work for you, but generally it's not always a good thing. And in the game, when you start, depending on the amount of players you have, you're going to separate out some of the colors, I guess. So the colors represent heroes that are in the game. One of them has to be the villain, obviously, because there's a villain in superheroes, and anybody can be the villain in the game. It's a suit that is played. So if you end up playing a villain suit, you are the villain for that hand. And then you could be a superhero the next hand based on the color of card that you're playing. That's all that means. And some of them will come out. The superhero cards may come out depending on how many players you're playing with. If you're playing with a lower player count, there are certain ones that have to be in the game. And these player cards, some of them have, on some of the cards, have like abilities and stuff that might help you out. So you're wondering, how do you win a trick? So you win
Mandi,
it.
how do you win a trick?
How do you win a trick? You want to play different colored cards. Remember, we don't want that paradox, but you want to play the highest numbered card in order to win the trick. And if you lose the trick, you have to take a card, if it's available, from the cards that are on the table, and you have to add it to your scoring pile. And you're thinking to yourself, well, what's the big deal? Well, this is what matters when you're scoring at the end of the game. When you're scoring at the end of the game, you only ideally want one of a color in your kind of scoring area. The reason why is if you have one of a color of that card, you will get the card at face value. So if I had a 1 purple 20 card, I will get 20 points. But let's say Suzanne had a 5 and a 4 that were purple. She's going to get 2 points per card. So you do not get the face value of the cards. That is why you may not want to take a card if you lose a trick. It's like, but I don't want that color. It's going to knock my 20-point card down to 2 points per. But that's the nature of the game. Sometimes it does happen where not everybody gets a card, depending on how the hand works out. But ideally, you could be forced to take one. That doesn't work for you. And then the game ends after a certain amount of rounds. Cards are played, and then you count up your points based on that. That is literally the game. And when they talk about the villain, remember I was talking about the villain, Dr. Tricky Time, just like the title. That's just by temporarily taking on that role by playing that villain suit. And if the villain wins, then that's it. You just take on the role of that villain. But in essence, you're kind of saying, haha, I win. I get first pick at the card that I want. And then you all now have to take what's left.
Okay.
Okay. And then the paradox is when two players play the same suit or the same color card, and then cards are distributed among the players, which can be bad because, again, you can take on cards that you don't want. And then we talked about into the game, counting up your points, multiple cards of a color, 2 points per. Single, you just score the point value of that card. And then there are some superpower abilities of the cards that can change how it interacts. Like this can, if you had 2 colors of a card, I think one allows you to ignore it or something like that. So there are things that can break the rules a little bit. So that is literally the game. So that's Tricky Time Crisis. I'm always struggling with it's not bad, and I have to be careful how to word this. I do find as of late there are a lot of trick-taking games that are trying to be different or trying to bring, like a different theme or way of playing a trick-taking game. And I feel like if someone were new getting into trick-taking games, this might seem like a lot. Do you know what I mean? Because now it's like, okay, you're learning opposite rules.
Yes. Yep.
Do you know what I mean? So it's not a bad thing, but I definitely think it's maybe not one if you were learning tricking. Maybe you don't want to start with this one. It's not a bad thing. I just feel like a lot of these games, sometimes you need multiple plays to kind of really get it before you can make like a fair judgment on it. And I felt like this one we had to play a couple of times to just kind of, okay, I understand it now. Because we got a couple rules wrong the first time we played. They're not hard, but your brain is so hardwired to how a trick taker plays. You're just telling it to do the opposite thing. So it takes a minute. So I do appreciate the creativity of trying something a little different. The art didn't particularly do it for me. That doesn't mean it's bad art. I have to say that because people say, as soon as you don't like something, it's bad. No, it's not. It just wasn't for me, but it fits the theme of the game. It had that very drawn superhero vibe, and it worked for that. So I think that in itself, the art was good for that. It just wasn't my style of art, but that worked for the game itself. Time-wise, it plays exactly that. Like by the time you explain it and set everything up, it is about 25 to 45 minutes. That is fairly accurate. I think the price point is a little higher, but something tells me it's a game that's not necessarily, like, I think it's an export. Like it comes, or an import, excuse me.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah.
I think so. I can't, I should probably verify that, but I really do for that price point. It just seems higher than your average, and I have a strong suspicion it is. Because I've been noticing too a lot of games that are from outside of like North America, and then they come in and they're being published under a different publisher, but that's the only publisher that's listed. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. So long story short, Tricky Time Crisis, I enjoyed it. At first, I was a little like, why is there so much going on? And just keep it simple. But I get it and see what it was trying to do in the end. So just, I wouldn't recommend it as like a first time try for someone who'd not played trick taking. So Tricky Time Crisis is one that maybe you might want to try.
Fascinating. Well, I like, and that's the thing about art, right? It's subjective. And I think it looks cute. And I think that is
absolutely,
that is great.
Yeah.
All right, boy, here we go. Downtown Las Palmas. One of the booths I got to spend some time at PAX Unplugged was the Button Shy booth. I have been a longtime fan of Button Shy. I think Button Shy continues to grow and evolve and showcase what quote unquote micro games can be. Remember when Love Letter came out, there was a surge of 18 card games. 18 card games are 18 cards because of the way that cards appear on sheets in a manufacturing center. So 18 cards divides, you can get like 3 copies to a sheet of cards. It's nice and tidy or whatever, right? Or 2 copies, whatever it is. So here we have Button Shy continuing to grow and evolve and come up with all sorts of games. And now we have Downtown Las Palmas. It is a solo dexterity city building game. Yeah, Mandy's making a face.
Yeah, there were a lot of things there.
This features design and art by Erica Pinto, published by
Right.
Button Shy. It means it's about $12 to $15. Cool. So you're gonna get a deck of cards, these little 18 cards, and one side will have illustrations of like building. I gotta say, I personally really like the art style. You get these line drawings of a city, of like a beachy street with buildings and like what looks like museums or government buildings and apartment buildings, and then there's palm trees and bicycles and dogs on the street and all sorts of stuff, right? Sometimes the art will be oriented vertically, and sometimes it'll actually be landscape. It'll be sideways on them. So that's one thing to note. The back of all the cards have different goals on them or different scoring conditions, which is a very typical thing you see in these 18 card games, so that you basically have multi-use cards.
Yeah.
Basically what you're going to be doing, boy, is you pick a couple of goals and you set them out. And this is a game theoretically you're playing all in your hand, one hand. Pick a hand that you can use well. And after you select a couple goals, the rest of the cards are your deck. And you take the top card of the deck and you add it to your hand. And what you're doing is, while you're holding these cards, you are creating the cityscape in your hand by where you're placing the cards. So ultimately, you're trying to create the city of Las Palmas, downtown Las Palmas, this scene with the cards tucked around, tucked under your thumb. You're fanning your fingers, you're adjusting your grip, you're twisting the cards. And the game ends when you choose to stop playing or when you drop a card.
Oh.
Guess how I usually stop the game.
Say.
And that's actually the game. You are city building in your hand. So it has that dexterity thing. Now, as you're tucking these cards, they can go anywhere in your fan, including completely behind other cards if you want to, but you won't score any points for them. And the biggest rule that makes this extra challenging is that each card has a street on it. You're supposed to be lining that up. So the visible streets need to be aligned, like you're actually looking at the street scene. Get it? Got it. Good. It makes it really hard. Meanwhile, you have other scoring elements you're not supposed to cover up and make like things that couldn't, like, it's supposed to look like a somewhat realistic scene. Again, great from a rules perspective, extra challenging from a gameplay perspective. Because at the end of the game, when you choose to quit, you're going to score points for visible cards.
Yeah.
And then points for the fully visible scoring elements, like those bikes or the dogs that I mentioned. Those are considered scoring elements, and you'll score points for them. And then you're going to lose points for cards that are fully hidden in your hand. So yes, you can tuck cards behind, which may add stability, or it doesn't work. Like, you can't make the art work in your hand, but you'll lose points for them.
Okay.
Another interesting element to this game is your rank. Like a lot of solo games will give you a score chart, right? And tell you, oh, you're a champion. Oh, you're a master. Oh, you're an acolyte, whatever, right? They have the same thing here. And what's interesting is your rank actually depends on your hand span.
Oh my God.
So they say line up your hand against the rule pamphlet to see how big your hand is, and then that will determine what rank you do. I'm like, well, that is very clever, actually.
It is.
Because of course, if you've got a larger hand, you probably have an advantage here. Yeah. There is a tabletop variant. So you can set up so if you can't do that, you can set up a little space in front of you, and you have to do the same general rules. You can't reposition. So one of the things in the game is you can freely reposition cards. In the tabletop version, you cannot reposition cards, right? Which is fine. So there is a tabletop variant, which, I'll be honest, I found less fun. Like, ultimately, this is, to me, either you are into the goofiness of trying to control everything in your hand, or you're not. If you're not, this isn't a game for you. If you are, it's actually super fun and goofy and challenging. Very, very challenging. In some ways, this feels like a great one that you can just have in your pocket to entertain kids at the table, right? And just let them goof with it, because no harm, no foul, and it's all very self-contained.
Exactly.
I like it. I appreciate what it's trying to do. Is this going to be a go-to solo game for me? I got to be honest, no. Like, it's just not, because that's not the kind of dexterity that I'm super into. But I do respect the game. I like the game. And I think they did a fun job with it. It's pretty, you get these different goals that you can score points with, and et cetera, et cetera. Like, it is a real game. And I
Right.
think that's what I really respect about it. But downtown Las Palmas, if you are into that kind of thing, or if you have a family member, it is goofy, it is fun, it is solid for what it is. So that is downtown Las Palmas.
Yeah, I actually looked at this one. The art is I actually do like the art on this one
Yeah, the
as
art's cute,
well.
right? Yeah.
And then the dexterity part, I'm like, "Ugh." But I do like the option of a table version
Yeah,
instead.
I mean, the tabletop version is fine. It's
Yeah,
fine. You get a limited space to work in. You use cards to set up the space. I just didn't find I think the tension dropped a lot. Like there's a lot of
I see.
tension, quote, slash stress with holding it in your hand. And after playing it in your hand, that
Yeah,
tension went away on the
I
tabletop for
see.
me.
Okay.
But but if but that's just me, right?
Yeah,
If you like that little micro city building thing, it is adorable.
fair enough. Okay. Well, something to consider. Okay, well, the last game that I'm going to talk about is called Mortem Medieval Detective. And there are a few different boxes in this one.
Right.
I'm just going to give like an overall talk about it because there's quite a bit. It plays 1 to 6 players in about, well, each session. It says 120 to 180 minutes. That's probably about accurate. There's a lot of narrative happening in this game. You're trying to solve a mystery. So there's a lot of reading and talking amongst yourselves to try to figure it out. So the whole premise of the game is that you're agents of a secret organization investigating mysterious events. And then they have 3 kind of scenarios that you can go through. There's like a starter one and then some other ones. And then there are expansions that you can pull in as well. So apparently the inspiration was medieval Europe filled with folklore, superstition, and political tension. I haven't seen the political tension part yet, but maybe that'll come up later. Definitely seen some of the folklore superstition things. So that was interesting. So I mean, and I'm into that sort of thing. So I haven't gone through all the boxes, but we've gone through a couple. And it's supposed to make you feel like choices matter, which in essence they do, because well, it matters because your score will determine if those choices were in fact correct, because it lets you know how well you've done. So there's no rule book in this game, which you're like, what? Really? It's cards. So the whole game is like when you first start, it's a card that it'll say, like, start here, read this. And it's cool because it gives you like a little background of the game, but it also tells you to do this, or this card does this, or all the cards that you're using. If you flip them, it tells you what each card does. So I do appreciate that part of it. Like it's not necessary for a rulebook in this case because it actually walks you through it. And then once you've kind of walked through it based on those cards, it's pretty straightforward. And then you can just keep those cards from round to round to explain how the basic mechanic of the game works. So what's going to happen is during a session, or if you're trying to solve a case, you're going to have cards that are going to come out that are your calendar or like time, because you have from in the morning to like 6 p.m. And then I think if you stay out past that without doing a rest, you're going to start to take, some X's against you, which is not great, especially if you're going to the next game that can be detrimental to you. So you want to try and not to do that too much if you can. Try and solve it within the time frame that they give you. You're going to visit different places on the map, and again, the maps are just cards that you have kind of set cards, and then
Mhm.
you will discover other ones which might change the way the map looks or other locations, and then you can go and visit these locations. And then you have tokens, and the different tokens will have cards that explain what they do. So one of them might be scouting an area. Maybe you're going to battle, and you have a certain amount of these tokens that you can use to do that, right? And it's not like you just go and do it. You actually have to do it at the location, but then you have to put it you have to put the token 3 days ahead. And that's when you resolve it. It's very weird. So it's so you put the token like it's a thing you're going to do, but then 2 or 3 days ahead is when you actually do it. So I guess it's that time to get there so you can scout it or whatever it is that you do. And this could in essence be, getting a card or whatever, some sort of decision that you're going to make there. You also have ways of getting money. Money is tight in this game, and there are a few times where you just couldn't do things. We just didn't have the money to do it, right? So you have to take a different avenue, but maybe we should have kept that extra coin to do the thing. But there are always a lot of choices. Anytime you flip a card, I shouldn't say every time, but a lot of time you flip a card, you have no choice. That's time. Sometimes it's 2 time, or you're like, oh, let's, we don't have to flip this right now. Actually, no, I want to do this decision. Flip the card. Oh, great. More time that we have to take off. So your decisions matter because it really runs your day down, and you only have so many hours to solve this case. Yeah, and I talked about the different types of characters that you can choose from. So spy, assassin, raider, warrior, thief, and those are going to give you those tokens, right? To scout or to battle or those sorts of things, or give you abilities to make you a little stronger or whatever it is. That's the gist of the game. So everything is on cards, trying to figure it out. And at the end of your session or end of your day or whatever it is, sometimes it's maybe longer than that, but let's say day for this purpose, you have to, there's like a questionnaire at the end, and it's to determine, so did you find out who the killer was, or who was responsible? What did they use? What time did this happen? Or things like that. Some of them you can kind of like surmise what happened. Other ones, it's like, now you actually really had to do a thing in order to figure it out. So the first time we did it was terrible. C- for us.
Yikes.
It wasn't good. And then the next time we did it, to be fair though, this matters. The first one had a bit of a mistake. It kind of guided us or didn't give us like the right direction. And going online, we determined after it was a mistake. And I'm like, that's huge, because we spent a lot of time
Yikes.
trying to figure that out. And I was like, that to me is a problem. You need to like tell people immediately, because it totally screwed up our whole first session. So it didn't happen in the second one, which is good. We did better. I would say we're probably like a A- in the second one. So yay for us. We figured it out. But stuff like that matters. So that's the gist of the game. I like these types of games. I like games that have a mystery where you can chat, you can take notes. Oh, P.S. The paper little things they give you for notes are cards. And if you have large handwriting like me, you write like 20 words and it's like, oh, card's full. Just get a notebook. So to me, that was I know you're trying to be thematic, but it doesn't work for me there. So not great. What I just mentioned, making like mistakes, like it might seem like a minor mistake, but we spent a lot of time on this and wasted time in the game. We could have been doing something else. Like we never would have gotten to that conclusion. These are things that you need to put that out there. Hey, like it took some digging to figure that out. Like it wasn't, hey, there's a mistake. Somebody actually mentioned it in a thread that I had to go and like dig. So that's kind of a no-no for me. Like you need to make that a little more clear. There's also, trying to think, what else did we have here? The game itself, though, we liked the way it played. Like the story, everyone took turns reading, but I have a really good group. Like I read a card, and I love Arseni. If you're listening, he's like, okay, Mandi, you're going to read this card. Okay, Jeff, you're going to read. Like everybody got a turn, and I like that because everybody wants to be involved. So I really appreciated that. So if you like that kind of narrative mystery game, I think this is great. And I definitely think that you should try it out. But these little quirks and errors, I think, are things that they have to be careful, because it could really ruin the experience for people. But there's a lot of game in the box to try. And I don't think a lot of people talk too much about this one, so I don't know how much attention it got. But I like what it definitely is trying to do. So that's Mortem Medieval Detective. And I realized I skipped over the whole section here. Designed by Sergei Minovich. Art is by Igor Verlikov and Igor Savchenko, and published by Arcane Wonders. Apologies, I got so excited, I just wanted to jump right in. And it retails for about 47 Canadian dollars just for the base game. So Mortem Medieval Detective, if you like a narrative mystery experience, this could be one for you, but watch out for those little mistakes.
I appreciate all of that input. Is this the one too where like some of the print's really, really small, right?
Yeah, it's small.
Yeah.
Or like, and some of the print too, like I know they're trying to make it immersive, like it's cursive. Not small and cursive, and as someone who writes in cursive, can be a little challenging to read when it's small. So, yeah.
Yeah, as an aside, right? Listeners know I work with restoration games, and this is a challenge that a publisher, I think, frequently faces, or I know it's something that restoration frequently faces,
Yeah.
is finding the balance between thematics and playability.
Right.
And making something immersive, adding that special typeface or font, or adding an illustration, or do you put illustration here and cover it up with text, and then, or, linen finish on cards, all these little details. How do you make icons? Is it language independent, or, are the icons, all of that stuff? It can be tough. It can be really, really tough.
Absolutely.
And sometimes, arguably, some people will prefer, oh, I love the cursive. I love how thematic is. And then some people will be like, it's cool, but I can't read it. You can't please everybody, that's for sure. Interesting.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I appreciate
for
that.
sure. No, thanks.
All right. To wrap up games played, I've got a little card game called Floral.
Floral. Okay.
I don't know why I'm saying
I like
that way.
floral.
Floral. Floral. It's about
It
flower.
sounds very Schitt's Creek coded, Moira.
Yeah. It's not into floral. It's not meant to be, sorry. Floral. Designed by James Newman. Illustrations by Anton Furshik. Published by Edition Spielweis. Retails for $15 US. Now I don't know why I'm talking that way. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, why am I now just, I don't know. I no idea what's going on. If anything, this just shows Mandi and I don't plan crap, and we just get on this show and start talking.
Let's do a thing.
Plays 1 to 5. This is a very compact little card game. It just comes in a little telescoping box. It has a very pretty cover on it with flowers and stuff like that. And basically, this is one of those games where cards are kind of used like tiles. And so each card just has a grid, a 2x3 grid on it. And each square of the grid will have one of 6 flower patterns in it. So maybe you'll have, little groupings of different colors. You never know what you're going to get. But that's the kind of card game it is. And you're going to be getting these cards and forming a little garden tableau in front of you by layering the cards together and scoring points. Once you know how to play, this will play in like 15, 20 minutes. It's very, very quick.
Ooh, it's pretty.
It is very pretty. I like the art style personally.
Yeah,
so,
me too.
First of all, the deck is seeded by player count. And when the deck runs out, your game's over. I love that. It makes it a consistent experience regardless of player count.
Mm-hmm.
And what's going to happen is that you get a little hand of these cards. And on your turn, you get to do 2 things. You play a card to your tableau, and then you quote unquote fulfill a task, and then you play a task. Well, what are these tasks? Each of these cards will have one of the flower types with an icon on it, just a little extra icon. It's the same icon. It's your task marking icon, essentially. So if a card has maybe the red flower bed has a little icon in it, that means if that card is used as a task, the red flowers will score if you fulfill that task.
Okay.
So let me go into it's essentially multi-use cards, which is cool. I love multi-use cards.
I love that.
Basically, you're going to get a little row of cards out in front in the middle. And that row is purely, now they are tasks. So maybe one of the cards has the blue flower bed with icons. Maybe one has the red. Maybe one has the orange. Cool. So you play a card to your tableau, and then you go, okay, do I have the largest group of blue flowers compared to all my competitors? No. Do I have the largest group of red? I do. That means I can, quote unquote, fulfill that task by taking that card from the center and putting it into my score pile.
Okay.
Then I must, quote unquote, play a task, which means I take one of the cards from my hand and put it into that row. And then whatever color group has that icon, that is the quote unquote task. It now serves in the middle. It's not a playable card anymore.
Right.
All right. And that's it. You play through, you get it, and then you draw a new card. You draw 2 new cards for your hand. So you're going to play a card, fulfill a task if you can, and then play one of your hand cards to the center to be a task. But then it's going around the table. So maybe if you're looking, you're like, oh, well, Mandi has a huge amount of pink. I've got a pink card. I've got a task card. I've got a card in my hand that would be a pink task.
Right.
Well, I don't want to put that in the middle because that's just going to let Mandi score. But I really wanted to keep this other card that's got a yellow task marker on it because that works in my tableau. Well, which one do I pick to put into the middle? It creates an actually very fascinating moment during play that I love. I think that's great. Another thing that creates tension during this game is when you play a card to your tableau, it must overlap at least 2 squares in your tableau.
Right.
Must. You can twist and turn your card. You may not tuck it, but it has to cover up at least. You can cover up 6. You can just lay it over in the middle if you want to.
Sure.
But that must cover 2 is agonizing because, these cards are designed diabolically, of course. Nothing ever lines up exactly the way you want. It reminds me of number 9, where the shapes, you want the shapes to be reversed in the way that they are, and they never are.
Of course not.
It's very inconvenient. And it's the same thing with floral. So that must overlap too. It's such a small rule. It becomes agonizing in a good way during gameplay. So yeah, and I mean, that's the whole game. You play through and you count your points, and the game person with the most points wins. Well, how are you getting points? You're just fulfilling tasks. Aha. But wait, there's more. There's more. Because if your card that has the red flower marked as a task, all the red squares on that card will be marked. It is a red task. But if there are 3 icons, if there are 3 red squares on that card is worth 3 points. If it's a task card with only 1 red square and only 1 red square has a mark because there's only 1 red square, that task card is worth 1 point. So the quantity of icons on a card are the points. Well, that adds a whole new thing now. Now you're gauging all that as well because you want to build up large color blocks, but large color blocks are also points. So the way that this game was designed, what we have all said when I played it with friends is it punches above its weight. It's this light, quick, easy game, but the must overlap too, the way that the cards serve as tasks, the points, and all of that comes together to create a real game, a simple game, but a real game with real difficult choices that keeps you engaged. Because what is interesting about this, a lot of tableau building games, once you start your core, you're not going to move anything. You're not going to change what's established. In this game, your tableau can be constantly evolving because you're trying to achieve these tasks. And you're like, oh, I've got this great block of pink. Oh, but if I play this and cover up that pink, then I'll have a big block of yellow and I can grab that 3-point yellow task. What are you going to do? So a lot going on in a very simple game. In case you couldn't tell, I love it. I think Floral is fantastic.
Looks great.
In multiplayer.
Oh.
I have also played it solo. It plays 1 to 5 solo. The solo, you create a random little deck of, 9 cards, and you end up building like a 9-card tableau in front of you, and you flip it over, and then you have to beat this. I found no tension in it. I found it was excessive, like it's so random. And I don't see me ever playing this solo. It's very simple, it's very quick. Let me say this differently. A Gentle Rain, that solo game where it's very simple and straightforward. I found this even simpler with even less tension than that. So ultimately, it's not a bad thing. If you're looking just to chill and throw some pretty cards down for a solo experience and have a cup of coffee, this may work for you. For me personally, I have a Gentle Rain. I'd rather play a Gentle Rain in that scenario. But for a multiplayer game, 2 to 5 players, Floral's amazing. Love it. Get it. $15, portable, beautiful. It's a winner.
I mean, that's great. So you could have Gentle Rain for your solo sessions and then have Floral
exactly
for your group sessions.
They're all pretty. They're all good. So there you go. All right. I talked way too long about such a simple game, but I actually love this game. Both groups I've played it with really liked it. So
that's how you know you like it and it's good because you just want to talk all the things.
Oh, I know. That's the thing. I want people to know that this affordable, pretty card game is actually really, really good. So there you go. All right. Mandi, you want some dessert?
I sure do.
Let's serve it up. All right, Mandi, as always, we kind of agonize over what do we serve? What do we do with Game Pie? And I mean, the time of year, right? Many holidays collide in December. So where did we land, Mandi?
We landed on, after some spitballing, me throwing out the most ridiculous ideas, Suzanne's like, rein it in. Come on, let's focus. Gifts for gamers. See? Simple.
So simple.
Is our list simple? Absolutely not. Okay, well, maybe mine.
If you're listening to this podcast, chances are you like board games. Although I know for a fact sometimes we have a few friends that are like, I listen. I don't know anything about games, but I listen. I'm like, well, thank you for listening.
That is, yes. Shout out to my current supervisor, bless her. Her name is also, Suzanne, but she likes that I call her Suze.
Good one.
And she is one of those people. She's like, I don't really know much about board games, but I just love listening to you and Suzanne talk. So thanks, Suzanne or Suze, for the support.
So yeah, I mean, theoretically, most of y'all are, into board games, card games, that kind of thing. And, certainly for us, Mandi, right? Kind of in general, the last thing you and I want to get as a present is a board game.
For sure. So
I love board games, but
absolutely.
I'm set, right?
We're good.
It doesn't mean there aren't lovely other things I would love related. And so that's where we focused is gifts that you can give to your friends and loved ones that aren't board games, but, for the people that love games.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, my first slice of gift for gamers pie, my mind was blown here because I just saw this. At the time of this recording, it would have been the night before, a deck holder. And you're like, okay, great. It was a 3D printed deck holder. And
Cool.
my friend Stefan, who I think his channel's called Old Guy Melts Plastic. Anyway, He does 3D printing.
I
It's
like
just a
it.
hobby, but yeah, he does a few little things here and there for people on request. And he showed this to me, and it was super cool. And it is literally that. It's a thing that holds your deck. And I showed Suzanne the video because I had to put a video of it. I didn't put it on the podcast here. Maybe as I'm talking, I might interject a little screen so you can see it for those who do watch it. If not, it'll be on my socials. But it's a 3D printed, and it's not just like a box. It's like a box, and then it opens, and then there's I don't even know how, it's like a cage thing that comes off, and then the cards are sitting in this cradle, and then as the cards deplete, the cradle opens up a little bit, and then anytime there are more cards, like it weighs it down, and then the cards close back, the cradle closes back up, so when you're ready to put it back in the case, it like snaps in. I'm moving my hands like you can see me if you're listening, but it's really hard to explain.
There's a lot
But
of gesticulating.
Yes, a lot of movement here, but it is so cool. I'm going to get him to make some for me for my tarot decks because I have quite a few tarot decks.
Oh,
It's
that's
like,
a great idea.
yeah, so I was like, can you hook me up so when I'm traveling or doing my solo RPGs, I can just grab that instead of like the big kind of cases that I have already. Anyway, I will post something about it so you can check it out. And within that, someone had gifted him the playing cards. That's a whole other thing. But the deck holder, 3D printed, awesome. If you're interested, reach out and we'll give you all that stuff at the end of the show. But I'm sorry, that it's a very cool gift, and I think he's making those as gifts to give out this holiday.
All right. That sounds and looks very, very cool. I like it.
It's so cool.
All right, first up for me is called the bulk box. Now, I was just talking about Avatar Magic the Gathering at the top of the show, and this is why I know about this product. Card storage, card and game storage. So the bulk box, terrible name. With love, makers of bulk box, terrible name. The bulk box 3800. Okay, whatever. The bulk box 3800 is a cardboard card storage box. It's got 5 channels in it. And it's just really designed for mostly like TCG storage. So first of all, if you have somebody that plays TCGs, maybe this is worth it too. Or if you have one of those games like Arkham Horror or Marvel Champions, where it's just a ton of cards and you want like a consolidated storage experience, you might want to check this out. Now, why do I like the bulk box? Anybody who's familiar with TCGs knows those classic white cardboard, corrugated cardboard boxes that you have channels. They work. They're fine. I have tons of them, but they can be flimsy. They get dirty. All this other. Bulk box is kind of the next level of that. So what bulk box is it takes a little bit of assembly, and it is made out of cardboard, but the way that you assemble it, it's much, much sturdier. It is much sturdier, feels strong, but it's cardboard, so it's still light, as opposed to like a wooden crate box or something like that, right? So it's light. It's square. The largest white channeled boxes are not square. They're deep and rectangular. They were
Okay.
So if you have somebody who uses, say, a calyx system, the bulk boxes are designed to fit perfectly in a calyx. So if you have, again, Marvel Champions or something like that, boop, 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 you can stack them up, fill them up, sort them how you want to, etc. And they fit perfectly in a calyx as well.
Right.
So I really like this. I actually have purchased 6 of them myself, and I'm moving my Magic cards from the white, old, crappy storage boxes I have to these. I'm really happy with them, and I think that they work great for trading card games, and I think that they work for, card-heavy, quote-unquote, board games as well, that, like LCGs as well. So bulk box 3800 might be something to check out, and I don't think a lot of people know about them yet, so it'd be a surprise, too. A surprise and delight.
No, it's very cool. I know exactly the boxes you're talking about because when my set went missing, it wasn't one of those.
Yeah,
boxes.
one of the old crappy white ones. Yeah.
That's very cool. I might have to check this out then for what little Magic cards I do have left. My second slice of gift for gamer pie is something I liken to, well, no, this is what it's called, the Game Castle. And now this is a type of kind of storage, but on the go that you can do. And this is a Gamegenic product. There's another product also that I was looking at for TTRPGs. It's another kind of 3D print thing. But the Game Castle, when you open it up, it has 2 sides, and in it you can put components, you can put cards, you can put, it has a ton of stuff, but it literally is in the shape of a castle, which is really cool. So it has a handle, you can hold it, but you can also put it over your shoulder. And of course, mine was gifted to me in white and pink. So they know I love pink. They love it. So it is one that I use a lot, and I like it because it's large enough to hold a few things in there, but few different things. So it's not just cards. It's not just, little bits. Like it's a bit of everything. And I don't know. I think it's really handy. It looks really cool. And I can put little fun Hirajuku stickers on the outside, which I may have already done. So
It
things
looks
like,
amazing, and I
yeah.
have the dungeon boxes from
Yeah.
them,
Oh,
from
yeah. I have a
Gimmick.
lot of those too.
They are really high quality. They are very, very nice.
I think that's what's housing my Marvel Champions. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. So if you all want a discussion about that, we're happy to have a little chat about that because I'm sure we could talk about that for a while, how we organize that. But the game castle is a newer accessory. I just really, really like the whole concept. So something that's nice for storage, but also you can pick it up and take it with you.
All right, next slice of gifts for gamers pie. Yeah, I know this is boring, but card sleeves. Like
Not
sleeves.
boring.
But there are a lot of brands of sleeves out there, and I Gamegenic makes. I use a ton of Gamegenic
Especially the
sleeves.
ones for
I think they
champions.
do
Those are
very well,
awesome.
right? But if you need a little more flexibility in sizes,
Mhm.
the pinnacle of sleeve premium sleeve maker Dragon Shield has entered the mix with a line of board game sized sleeves. So they've got things like tarot size and Euro minis, American minis, kind of a set, I think a dozen different sizes now or
Mhm.
something about that.
It's a
And it's
lot.
in their kind of traditional, it's clear on one side and slightly matte on the other side. The reason why I like that is that, well, Mandi, you've I don't even have these, but you've experienced them. I have tons of Dragon Shield sleeves.
Yeah, these ones I have all of them.
But
I know.
one reason I like the clear on one side and the matte on the other is it makes shuffling a breeze. That little extra texture makes it so much easier to shuffle card decks. Oh, love it. So if and again, they can be a little pricier, but this is a gift, right? This is when maybe you want to give a friend or a loved one a little bit of a premium experience. So Dragon Shield board game sleeves, definitely worth a peek.
And shameless shilling here. I did actually review these sleeves. That's why I have so many. They were kind enough to send me a smattering of the
I got to
sizes.
get on that list. Dang, I'm jealous.
And
Nice.
yeah, I've actually been using the tarot sleeves. They're great.
Oh, I bet.
And yeah, so I did I was going to say quick review. It's not. I actually went a little deep dive in there. So it's like a 13-minute video. You don't have to watch the whole thing. But I even poke my nails through so you can see how strong they are. So if you want to check out a little bit more on the channel, I did do a review of those for these particular sleeves as well.
Cool.
Next slice of pie for me. Well, this is one probably that would be on Suzanne's list as well, because I know this is stuff that we talk about all the time. Erasable markers. Now, we also have talked about erasable pens and other things, but I love these specific erasable markers. And I find I've been using them more and more, especially if I'm playing a game that requires more coverage to be filled in versus a pen. I can use the markers. The ones that I'm getting, I usually just get them through something like an Amazon or something, but I think they come from, I don't know the exact place. It's Asia. I don't know exactly where in Asia they come from, but I
think
know
they
they're
come from
not.
Japan.
Is
I
it
think they come
Japan?
from Japan. I think
That
so. I could be
seems
wrong, but I think
correct.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll go with Japan because I know for a fact when they come in, the writing on them is not in English. So, which I'm okay with because, hey, if they keep selling them, I'll keep buying them. And I find they're super great. I have a nice selection. And I just really love it. I love how to explain, though, to everybody how to use them. The eraser's not on the back. It's actually on the cap. So when you're using them, you can put the cap and then use it to erase. Anyway. It's very fun. But the erasable markers for me are quite good. There are other erasable products, but these are the ones that I'm loving at the moment.
Oh, okay. I love this suggestion, and I probably have enough of them, but it actually makes me want to buy more because
I know, right? For just a
pens are
half.
like dice, right? You can never have enough.
Absolutely.
Next slice up for me for gifts for gamers is a custom insert. Inserts are
Ooh.
great, right? And sometimes you're going to get big games, little games, whatever. And there are two types I personally really enjoy. So first of all is Folded Space. Folded Space is a company that specializes in making, like they license with the producers, so they're official and on the up and up, but they use a special foam core board. And the downside is it takes some assembly. Although for some people who like to do puzzles or things like that, they may actually enjoy the assembly process. But what I love about that, though, is after it's assembled, it's really solid. They're really well made. They're really well designed. They're light.
That's important.
Board games is a heavy hobby, and the last thing I wanna do is add more weight to my box with big, heavy wooden things, so I love the folded space foam. Now, the other thing you can do, and I just recently did this for my copy of Forest Shuffle, is with 3D printers and all this other stuff, people are designing custom inserts that they are 3D printing that
Yes,
you can
yes.
purchase if you don't. So I needed an insert for Forest Shuffle because it's just expanded and I got cards everywhere. So I went on Etsy and I searched up custom insert for a shuffle and got like 12 options. And I found the one I liked, ordered it, love it. It works perfectly. It's
Nice.
green, all this other stuff. And honestly, it was pretty affordable. I think it was like the insert itself was like 12 bucks plus shipping.
Oh, that's not bad at all. Because
No,
sometimes
exactly. So for
they
a
can be
game that I
pricey.
love to help keep it organized and contained, well worth it. What is your loved one's favorite game? Go search to see if there's a custom insert for it. I think that they would love getting that kind of gift. So, custom inserts, great
That's
gift.
strong. Very strong. Yeah, and that price point sounds reasonable.
Yeah, because that's the thing. 3D print, every one of my friends that has a 3D printer says the filament is cheap.
It's the STL files, I think they're called.
Yeah,
They
it can be the design files or the printer itself, right? That
Right.
costs a lot of money.
That
But they're
can
like,
cost
so
you.
I think the prices of some of these inserts reflect that. Like they're not charging you a good $1 billion, which is great.
Absolutely. Well, my last slice of pie, well, I feel like it's an oldie, but there's also a goodie that I've attached to it, and that is the good old laminator. So, as a teacher, I was always using these things in the classroom, but it's only till I started talking to Suzanne. She's like, "You don't have one?" I'm like, I never thought to buy one. Do you know what I mean? And she's like, I have one. They're not very expensive. And I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I should investigate this. And I did. And I got a laminator for like $19 Canadian. And I use it all the time. I've even started laminating score sheets in some of my games as an option. So if they're included, they're not
Yeah,
wasting
yeah,
paper,
yeah, yeah.
that sort of thing. And I have enough markers to go around or dry erase or whatever the case may be that I can use. So if I can laminate it, you bet your buns I'm going to do it. So the laminating sheets, you might want to wait till those things kind of go on sale, and then I'll buy like a bulk of them or whatever. But waste not, want not. Let's not waste the paper. Reusable. It's great. So laminator, and then I kind of threw in here 3D printer. Now the laminator is
What?
like a 19.
That
I know.
escalated quickly.
Laminator's like a 1999 vibe. The 3D printer, we're definitely getting into the hundreds. If it is something that you can afford. So for me, I don't own one, but I have friends who have them. So
Right.
I can just go, hey, throw you a few bucks. Do you mind printing this for me? But if you have the income and you're able to do it, all the things we're talking about here are things that you could potentially do for yourself if it's within, something that you can afford. So I choose not to have one. I have friends who have one, so I kind of outsource those requests. But a 3D printer is also something that seemingly is becoming more and more popular these days. So something, holidays are coming. Maybe that's something that can appeal to people. So there you go.
Well, I gotta say, I think a laminator is an inspired idea for a gift for a gamer. That is brilliant because they are affordable and
Yeah.
they are very versatile and you can use it for more than just board games. Brilliant idea,
Exactly.
Mandi. Good
So
one.
yeah, laminator was the takeaway there. 3D printer was like if
Yeah,
you
I
ever just get a
know.
3D
Girl, you
printer
made money.
printing friend.
All right, folks, there you go. Our little game pie full of gifts that
Wait.
you can give to the gamer that you love. What?
You missed one.
Oh, I did. My last one.
Wait a minute, because I'm waiting for this
I
one
got
because
so
I
excited.
have the 3D printer. You were like,
I got so excited about the 3D printer or the laminator.
or the
both of them.
laminators.
I want all the gear. I know. All right.
And we
well,
have
finally,
the gear.
and I'm sorry because it's such a great one. And many of you listening already know about this, but I'm just going to toss it back to the top of your thoughts there. A quiver case.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
Quivers are faux leather carrying cases. Originally, I think kind of designed for trading card games.
Yeah.
Portable. They're long. They look like flute cases almost. But the line has really expanded. So they come in a number of colors and they come in at least 2 different sizes now. And what I have found over the years is they are great for making games portable. So if you've got a number of like floral, right? I've got floral and I want to bring floral and I want to bring Forest Shuffle and I want to bring all these games to say a family gathering or something like that, but I don't want to carry a dozen boxes. Well, quivers make it really easy to kind of consolidate and make games portable. I have a quiver that I've just filled with specific games that I've made just for on the go, right? And
Oh, yeah.
you can leave it in the car
Yeah.
and it's just ready for you to go. They're very high quality. They're very versatile. They come in a number of colors right now. And it's one of those things that I think people look at and they're like, "Oh, I really want one of those, but I don't wanna buy
Yeah.
it for myself." Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna prioritize. So, a quiver case, a great gift for a gamer.
Yeah. I have a few.
Yes, they're lovely. They're lovely. And I should also divulge that, like, John over at Quiver has been I actually first found out about these back when I was running Gen Can't,
Yeah.
and he was a huge supporter of Gen Can't and has known Mandy, you and I for years now and things
Absolutely.
like that as well, but it doesn't change anything, so there you go.
Yeah.
That's the Quiver. Alright, now I'm done.
Okay. We're done.
Thanks, Mandy. Thanks for
Okay.
keeping me on track. Hey, what other great gifts are there for the gamer who has everything? You know, that kind of thing. Let us know. You can always email us, saltandsassgames@gmail.com, or join us on our Board Game Geek Guild. I did catch up, so there are threads for every episode back. We're all caught up there. I'll have one here. You know, some of us are going to be last minute shopping. So drop your ideas into that thread of other things that you could pick up at your local game store,
That's
things like
true.
that. Board Game Geek Guild 4131. Or
And
chat us up. Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, and if you want to know more about the deck holder, throw it in
The
there because I
snappy
do
deck
check
thing.
it, and I will send you the at least where you can find that information, or the person I can send it to. Old Guy Melts Plastic will let you know.
Whole guy knows. I love it. All right. Or Mandy, if they want to reach out to us on social.
Yeah, so you can reach us. Well, you might be watching us right now on the YouTube, or maybe watching some of my very interesting streams on the Twitch. And there you can find us at Salt and Sass Games. That's Salt and Sass Games. We also decided to get a little professional on the old Blue Sky, and there we're just Salt and Sass. So you can find us there at Salt and Sass. You can find me on Instagram and Blue Sky. I think that's it these days at 613 Mandy. That's Mandy with an I. How about you, Suzanne?
And you can find me on Blue Sky. I am at 425 Suzanne. What a show, Mandy. What a show. As always, thank you, everybody, for being here and for making us part of your extended gaming family. We appreciate you very, very much. Next episode, last episode of 2025. Hey, while you're in our thread or chatting us up on socials, drop us your game pie ideas. How do we wrap up the year, this year that has been? Give us those ideas as well, because we need them. If you're gearing up for holidays, I believe Hanukkah's already started by the time that
It
you're
has.
listening to this.
I only know because my friend is making me food.
That's the best. That's the best.
So good.
If you are celebrating a holiday right now, we hope that you are enjoying it and having a wonderful time. And until next episode, just take care of yourselves and your loved ones. Stay hydrated and play a lot of games. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Promotional consideration has been provided by game publishers in the form of review copies of games. If you'd like to support the podcast, please check us out on coffee.com/saltandsassgames. Thank you for your support. We are also part of the Goonhammer Media Network. Check out more of their content on media.goonhammer.com. Salt and Sass is produced with love by Mandi and Suzanne, and we'll be back next episode with more salt, more sass, and more games.